My name is Angela Biggs. I'm a Senior Vice President at Grosvenor Americas. I cover acquisitions with a focus on residential and gateway markets. And what I wanted to talk about today is how we have and maintain a long-term perspective during turbulent waters. So let me frame where we are today. The 10-year Treasury stands at 3.8%, and we started the year at 1.5%. So that's been a 230 basis points run up in, call it 9 months. During that same time frame, cap rates have only gone up a portion of that amount, so we find ourselves in, when we're underwriting deals, negative leverage territory, meaning our cost of debt is higher than our project yields or cap rates. And we are in this negative leverage territory for at least 2 to 4 years. So how do we think about maintaining a long-term perspective when we're in these turbulent times? So there's 2 areas I want to focus on in thinking about long-term perspective. The first is a return to fundamentals, and the second is maintaining your foot on the gas pedal. Starting with fundamentals, when you think about total return, it breaks down to income and capital appreciation. And it is more important now than ever to really prioritize the income side of that equation. We do that through both a top-down and bottoms-up approach. So thinking top-down, it's understanding what are those persistent demand drivers that we've seen through the pandemic that will continue 2, 3, 4 years from now. Home affordability is an issue. It's no surprise with rising interest rates that ability to buy a home is going to be even more challenging for our residential base. Another trend that we're at the early innings of seeing is a return of immigration in our gateway cities. That was a spigot that was turned off where we did not see a lot of population inflow, where we anticipate that coming back. Another driver that was brought up during the IREI Springboard Conference was the re-onshoring of manufacturing jobs and target implications that will mean on target locations. And we couple this really with a bottoms-up approach. So understanding and having our own conviction on rent growth, understanding the micro location, and really pricing each asset and figuring out what exactly the replacement cost is going to be today and where we think that replacement cost is going to be in the near term. The second area I want to cover is keeping your foot on the gas pedal. This is a point in time when opportunities arise. So it's important to understand what sellers are going to meet the market. Whether they're winding down an entity or there's a pending debt maturity, those are the opportunities that are important to keep apprised of. And the area that we're spending a significant amount of time in during this near-term volatility is getting our portfolio moving forward from an ESG perspective. We've signed up to be net zero across our portfolio, and a critical first step is really just gathering that information and educating our team on how to gather that information and benchmarking where we are today and where we need to go. And lastly, from a social impact side of the equation is defining what social impact means at Grosvenor. What are those activities that we're doing, and how do we measure that qualitatively through case studies or quantitatively, and sharing that common language. And what I wanted to leave on was a note that this is an interesting time where you're able to see what your portfolio looks like from a diversification standpoint. It's really when the tide is out that you see what remains, and it's an opportunity to move around the chess pieces and to bolster in what is missing.